I would like to start off by saying that contrary to Judson, I do like people. Again, we appreciate you all being here. What I'm going to do, we'll probably run a little bit over so you know that's on the normal schedule, just to keep everybody in check on that. Of course, if for some reason, we were going to wrap the first one up about 11 o'clock or so. So if you have anybody waiting on you on lunch or anything like that, of course, excuse yourself out the back or anything like that. But of course, we'll extend it so you get the same amount of time for lunch and all like that. Again, my name is Mike Knight. I know a lot of you from various different ways. Of course, a lot of people from the podcast we do, some people from other seminars that we've been involved with, and then some current clients. I have a company called Carolina Investment Property, and all we do is we specialize just in investments here in the Charlotte and surrounding market. And what I want to talk to you about and kind of go over in the presentation, as you can see here, is a little bit about really kind of multiple things because, because of time constraints this week, and I wanted to tailor, if you will, kind of what I'm going to talk about to kind of hit, hopefully, different interest levels for different people in here. When we did raising hands earlier, there were people kind of here for all different reasons. Some people wanted to talk about and look at investing in the Charlotte market. Some people that wanted to find out, hey, how do I find an investment realtor, which is what I am kind of in your market. And also maybe people that just say, hey, I want to know about putting together kind of a power team and what I'm looking for. So that's kind of what this is going to all encompass, my presentation here. Now, a little bit about me that some of you may already know. I was very fortunate to be asked by ABC News Nightline when they came down to Charlotte in May about our incredible market and to get a little bit of FaceTime there as to what's going on here and why our market is doing so well. There's also a group called the Russ Whitney that is now teaming up with Robert Kiyosaki. When they come around to the Charlotte market, they have me come in and speak. Again, kind of saying a lot about the presentation I'm going to talk to you about now, and that is getting to know the DNA, if you will, of an investment realtor. And also, I've been here, born and raised my entire life here. I know Charlotte very well. I love this market. I just feel fortunate and blessed to be in a market that is doing as well as we are. We are in a phenomenal market. What I'm going to do, too, is go over, a little bit about stats about the area. Because also, again, it's going to help. Some of you want to know more about Charlotte. I'm going to give information on Charlotte. And also, though, I don't want you to think it's just a play on Charlotte. Yeah, this is my market. I love Charlotte. But also, for those of you that are looking at your market, what I want you to do as far as the stats and all, that's what you need to have, either finding yourself for the market you want to choose to invest in or having your realtor bring to the table for you in your market. Because one thing I've noticed, I haven't been doing it my whole life or anything like that. However, about 10 plus years I've been in investment real estate, and I can tell you that it's, when I first got into it and first started reading and all like that, for lack of better terms, real estate was kind of to a lot of people in the past local, if you will. It was kind of always, everyone kind of had like that uncle that just got, quote, good deals around town, and he just buy houses cheap and rent them out over the years. Well, the thing is now is that with real estate, and you see a lot of you I know I've talked to are from markets, maybe Midwest, up north or whatever, where you've got towns that like major companies have pulled out to where, there's a lot of, quote, foreclosures and stuff that used to be, quote, the deals that you were looking for in the past, but quite honestly, those markets are going nowhere. So it doesn't matter if you buy something foreclosure, cheap, it doesn't matter because what's your exit strategy? Where are you ever going to go with that house, to be honest with you? So that's why now it's about finding the right markets. And you've got to know, am I in a solid market? Where's it going? Because it's, like to say, begin with the end in mind. When you're buying something in your market, what you want to know is what's going to drive this thing to be a good deal for me. All right, I buy it. Well, as a buy and hold investor, especially, what are you looking for? Well, tenants. All right. Well, see, now you got to do your due diligence, and investors are getting smarter where they know you got to find out, all right, what's driving the economy. It's no longer about just the house. Okay? If you're thinking about just the house, you got to expand and make sure you're getting all the knowledge for yourselves. It's also about that market. Because what do you want for that house? Well, you want tenants. Where are they going to come from? They're going to come from the job pool, the economy around this area. How solid is it? How strong is it? How do you know it's solid? How do you know it's strong? Make sure you're getting those stats. Make sure that either you're finding them yourself or someone's bringing them to the table to you. So again, that's kind of what I want to talk to you a little bit about in the beginning and talk to you a little bit about my market, what you're looking for, whether it's Charlotte or the market you're choosing. Then I'm going to move into a little bit talking about, of course, kind of the DNA, if you will, of someone that brings it to the table to you, or just what you want to do for your power team, what you want to assemble. I found out a long time ago, when you try and do it yourself, you'll put too much energy into it and you'll miss deals, you'll miss time. Best thing to do is to build that team and you will make more money. Now, tell you a little bit, a lot of you are going to know about this. I know we got several people here from Charlotte, a little bit around it, and some people across the country that I know, you may know this or not, so just bear with me. Charlotte is the number 2 financial center in the U.S. with 2 of the largest banks headquartered here. Bank of America and Wachovia are 2 homegrown banks that are based here, staying here, not going anywhere. Very fantastic for our city. Helps us put us on the map. A lot of people know that. We're also 5th in the nation for Fortune 500 companies headquarters. 300 of Fortune top 500 companies have facilities here in Mecklenburg County. Over the past 3 years, over 38,000 jobs and $6.6 billion invested by companies. Number 2 in the best places to live in America by Money Magazine. Excellent geographic location. Very key for when you're looking for also your market too. A lot of times, it's break it down. Don't make things harder than they need to be when you're looking for the market you want to choose. Very key because of our access to beaches, mountains, and the interstates for transportation. I've got information you'll see that I put in there, Charlotte facts and all like that. You can look at it later. So y'all know, I think we already pointed this out, but our entire presentation, Judson and myself, you've got it in there. So you can review it later or now, follow through whatever you want to do. But the entire presentation's in there. After the presentation, even some more stats and all like that. We've also, our professional sports pump billions in our local economy. Now, some facts we also have going here. Find out things about your market and the economy. Our city and county have AAA bond ratings. Here in the state of North Carolina, we're one of only 2 spots in the entire nation that can boast that. We got a very, very solid. That means all the bonds and basically what the city's putting out, they're of the highest backing, i.e. most secure, which is what you want. You want to know your city and everything's stable. Again, we're one of only 2 places in the entire nation that can boast that statement. Now, cost of living below the national average. I'm going to show you in a few minutes how this really factors in, but right now, what we have is kind of on a scale, we're at about a 93.1. 100 is your median, we're at a 93.1 cost of living ratio. I know this won't shock many people, but to put it in perspective, New York is at 222. All right? Now, just 3 hours to the beaches and 2 hours to the mountains. Again, if all you left this room right now, you can be up enjoying the mountains in just 2 hours. And if you haven't seen also what's going on in the North Carolina mountains, that is something else you're missing. Some of y'all may have seen the first ever course that Tiger Woods is going to bring into the United States is in the North Carolina mountains. He's done one so far, it's in Dubai. Second one's going to be in the North Carolina mountains. All right, again, there's a reason why people are flocking here. We have more than $1.9 trillion in assets in banking and everything else held here in Charlotte. Second only to New York. New York is right at about, it fluctuates 2.5, 2.6. To put it in perspective, how far though between us and New York we outdistance everyone else? Atlanta's in 3rd place. They got 250 billion. 250 billion is a long way away from 1.9 trillion. So again, that's to tell you, again, what the magnitude we have here. International business hub with over 600 foreign-owned companies. We got the light rail system scheduled to open 2007 this year. My Charlotte constituents in here, please don't giggle about the light rail. The people that are in here know what's going on. The light rail, it's typical public policy and all like that. However, it will be opening. And again, the good thing is, the nice thing about that, it's a great solid indicator. You look at your major markets and your major areas, mass public transportation is a main key ingredient. Like it or not, it is a main key ingredient when you look at the facts of your major markets. Now, another thing that just came out, Charlotte is home to the fastest growing airport in the entire nation. The Trumpster, he's coming to Charlotte. They're still getting all the plans finalized and all like that. However, Donald Trump will be coming here. One thing I've been fortunate enough to do is kind of, with a lot of people growing up here and a lot of industries I run with and all like that, is some people that are definitely in the know. I mean, it's already, they're just working on a few more pieces of land and all like that and assemblage. And of course, Donald and his company, one thing they're trying behind the scenes is, you know him, and he wants to have the tallest building And so a lot of times, it is when you're the new kid on the block trying to kick the door into a town, some people here are trying to, see if they want Trump to have the tallest building or not. But other than that, that's really kind of the main ingredients. Major headquarters, again, we got 8 of them here. This is a little bit of a growth pattern here. You'll see we're expected to go to about 14 over the course of about the next 2 decades, taking us from 5th to 4th in the entire nation as far as headquarters. These are some of those right here that I was talking about earlier, especially Bank of America in Wachovia. Now, this is something, too, you want to look at for your market. All right, where's your economy? Where's the workforce? How is it balanced? I talked about earlier banking. A lot of people do know us for banking. However, our number 2 actual thing we have going on here is actually wholesaling. We're a big wholesaling distributor all around here. All right, we've got a lot of key factors that make that possible. We're actually centered, again, because of how close we are, 2 hours away from the seaboard. We're from the Wilmington harbors and also the Charleston harbors. So again, the ships come in, container ships, drop them on 18-wheelers, drop them on Norfolk Southern, and I think it's CSX, is the other light rail, come straight up through here. All right? As far as, again, you talk about location, well, we are a 2-hour flight from more than 60% of the entire nation's population. Right here, talking about location. And as far as when they talk about 18-wheelers and all like that, all right, we're less than a 24-hour drive from more than 60% of the nation's entire population. Now, you look at this, we have if you look at it balanced, and it's still projected to go that way as far as these different, sectors of where people work. Again, very important to look at in the markets you're looking to invest in. What's going on in your markets? Where are the jobs? If one sector takes a hit, where is your investment going to be? Because again, it's about your investment, where your renters and tenants are going to come from, and it's all going to roll backwards into the employment in there, and also where the jobs are. What's keeping them in the town? What's keeping them from jumping ship and going somewhere else and moving out in the middle of the night on you and leaving you holding the bag with the mortgage and being the person that calls up Judson? Some of you may have seen this. Forbes just came out. I think it was about a month ago, maybe June, I'm trying to remember. 10 most and the least overpriced markets in the entire country. Again, articles in there, won't bore you with how they did all the stats and all like that. But you look at it, most overpriced markets, you may notice a few of those. San Diego, Miami, Sacramento, San Fran, D.C., Honolulu, Jersey, L.A., Boston, and San Jose. Go down to the least overpriced market. Number 1 least overpriced market in the entire country, Charlotte. This right here is something just put on here. Some of you may be familiar with National City. National City is a very large mortgage company. What they do is basically a risk assessment when they're looking at different markets around the country. Again, not boring you going into all this. What you're going to see in the next slides is basically where they say, hey, where levels should be as far as values and where they actually are. All right, let's look at Vegas. They went in there and they said, you know what? For things to be good and where we want them to be, here's where we estimate it to be. Whoa, they're way up here. High-risk market to National City. I know a couple people from Vegas, a realtor in Vegas. Her and I were just talking out there right now. She said, she's moved here. She moved away from Vegas. Been there, loved it, great town. I love it. I was there a few weeks ago with my wife. However, am I wrong about as far as what's going on in Vegas? I have several clients that they're still waiting to try and do 1031s out of. They got in on the condo boom out there in Vegas, trying to do the pre-construction buy and all like that, and they're having a tough time right now trying to give away their condos out there in Vegas. Phoenix, Arizona. All right, again, another market, kind of the same thing. There's your estimated, there's your actual. Palm Bay, Florida, we've heard what's going on in Florida. Here's Charlotte. Again, what do they look at Charlotte? Well, you see the estimated, and we're actually a little bit below. Again, this is what National City brought to the table, coinciding with like the article you just saw by Forbes saying, hey, undervalued market. The economy's on the rise. That's obviously something you always want to see. Got employment, the employment growth is going up, the unemployment rate's going down. Again, very solid economic indicators for you as investors for a market you're going to pick. Asking rent and vacancy trends, well, again, homeowners, investors, what do you want? Well, you want the rents going up, you want the vacancies going down. Again, great economic indicators. I put it in there also on another side, They just talked about commercially. It was just announced. Our commercial percentage of vacancy is now down to like a 4.3, 4.6, just announced this week. That's number one in the entire nation. Now, what's going on right now with home sales here? Well, you see the trend we have here. Average 192 in 04, 202 in 05, up to 230 in 06. Now, what we've got and what I wanted to talk about earlier was, all right, the median income. And you put it in perspective, and again, I like just keeping things simple. We talked about earlier, we have one of the lowest cost of livings in the nation, i.e., doesn't hurt your wallet as much just to live here. Now let's take it though, and let's look at what Charlotte provides people. Well, you look at the median income of average people. Here in Charlotte, you're in the top 6% in the entire nation as to what you're going to put in your bank account each year. Now let's go down there with children, income with children households. You're in the top 3%. So you put that in perspective. You're in the top 3% of what you earn, and you're almost at the bottom of what you're being forced to spend. That's very good on many levels. What does it also mean? It means the money is there for people to pay bigger rents as they start going up. The money is there for people to buy homes and pay more for them when you have your exit strategy and you go to sell. Because right now, a lot of you already know, we're in the beginning period right now of a 20-year growth cycle. Charlotte is the only market in the entire nation that is on a growth pattern rate right now for 300% population growth over the next 18 years. Only market in the entire nation. Where does everyone want to move to? This right here, this was a national study. I want to say actually I think it was United Van Lines did this, the largest moving company. Again, just simple polls. What do? Well, they look what they call inbound, outbound. All right, when they do a move, where are people going? Where are they coming from? North Carolina market, number one in the entire nation. 64% of all moves were in. So basically, you break it down, what does it mean? Every time one person moved out, we say, look, we're going to miss you, but you know what? We got two moving in behind them. Again, you got to think about that, because what does that mean? Well, it means people are coming in that are going to be your tenants and the people that are going to be the future to buy those properties you have right now, buying them and letting them go up in value for you. Another thing that's very solid for our economy. We're second in the United States in the growth of what they call drawing college-educated professionals 25 to 34 years old to this market. For those of you that are in the corporate world and follow that, you would know that's the number one most coveted demographic in the corporate world, that young age group. What does that represent? That's basically the beginning of your corporate company. That is your base. That is your future right there if you're in the corporate world. The college-educated people that are young. The thing that's, of course, nice about that is studies show once they hit 35, it's like 75%. It's an amazing stat. Once they hit 35, most of them put down roots right there. So getting them here and you keep them here, it's great for the city or whatever market you're in and keeping them once you kind of keep them that long. Now, this is an article that came out in the National Association of Realtors about home sales in the United States. Biggest total sales increase in North Carolina where existing home sales rose 9.7% quarter to quarter, third quarter to third quarter last year. This right here just shows a picture of what our population, this is a downtown picture again, showing what we've got going on as far as the buildings. Unbelievable how many right now we have going on. You'll see it tomorrow as we go by. You'll see the cranes spinning everything as we go down, and you'll see the skyline. Real estate. Again, find out in your market what's going on. What are the projections? A lot of this you can find. You see at the bottom of my slide. You'll see at the bottom in there. Go to your chamber. Find out from your chamber. Your local or the chamber for whatever market you're interested in. All right, look up stuff there. Not only the chamber, you can go to like a business journal for the market you're interested in. Most of them, I know, I of course have memberships to both, and I buy the business journal off our market. It's nice, of course, with our age nowadays, they give me a password where everything's online. So again, you don't have to bother, most of them are going to be the same. You don't have to bother about, quote, getting the print edition from somewhere across the country or whatever. Just join it up and get the online edition. Most of the time they give you a password, for that. And it's only like $50 or $60. I'm telling you what, $50 or $60 a year for a membership to something like that will allow you to stay in the path of progress and find out about the market you want to invest in. I mean, it's a drop in the bucket as to what it'll yield you. Healthcare, over 50 population. If you're not paying attention to markets that have the over 50 population going through the roof, you need to start now. This is the biggest growing sector, and it's one of the best growing sectors for the market you're looking in. Why? Because, many multiple great things, but see, they're not as much of a pull in the tax base. That's one thing that's great that cities and areas love about the 50, 55 and older, population coming in. Most of them don't have kids in school and stuff like that, all right? So it's, again, not as much pull on the city tax base and all, so they love it. There's a stat that says also, it's pretty neat, that there's between 3 to 4, they call it the ratio, like 3 to 4 to 1 ratio of jobs required for each person in that range. So what that means, like right now, for instance, just round Mecklenburg to 200,000 as we are now, that means that there's about 600 to 800,000 jobs associated with that population. Now, again, I'm not saying it doesn't transfer over, and of course, those people could be just the person working at the local Harris Teeter grocery store bagging groceries or a teller, all the way up to the doctors that are required, okay? It's a full spectrum. What does it tell you, though? Again, it's very important because it talks about the jobs it's bringing to an area. Those jobs, again, bring tenants and bring home buyers to buy your investment properties. Something else people may not realize is, as of 2 years ago, this North Carolina region, North and South Carolina, overtook Florida as the number one move-in destination out of the 50 and older population. Florida is no longer the number one destination. We are.
We've noticed, too, that a lot of people were selling their homes in Florida, moving up to Charlotte. Hurricanes and so forth.
Yes, sir. And what he pointed out, he said, you may not have heard, he said, that he's from Florida and noticed that a lot of people are moving from Florida. Well, there's actually a term, and it's actually a nice term they call halfbacks. And that's literally what they even call themselves. Hey, we're moving half back. I mean, people literally a lot of times northeast move down and then move halfway back. And again, because of many reasons, like you said, taxes down there and insurance rates in Florida are going astronomical. After the rash of hurricanes they got, and correct me if I'm wrong, even it doesn't matter if you're on the coast anymore. You could be in here in the center. Insurance rates have gone up all the way across the state. They just said, you know what, you're in Florida, your rate went up. And you're like, I'm not even smelling a hurricane. They're like, sorry, you're in Florida. So, but yeah, I mean, and so a lot of that is factored into it, and so they're coming back. Now, I put up here University of North Carolina, Charlotte. Again, just showing the growth that's going to happen in this university. Another thing to look for in the market you're looking to invest in, you'll find a key factor that is virtually always there in the biggest growth markets that are sustained now is a major university. So another indicator right there. If you want to have some of your little things where you start to look for markets, that's one right there. You can plug in where are some major universities, let's find the cities next to them and see what's going on. Now, kind of right up here, and what we talked about, why is it so important? Well, like I alluded to earlier, it's no longer about finding good deals. And I like to say, and not try and, just be out there with it, but you know what? I can go to any market right now in the country and, quote, find a good deal. All of you could. It's not about finding something, quote, that's a foreclosure. It's not about finding something that you can buy 10 or 15 grand or whatever under value. Again, if you're looking at it and running your business the right way and looking forward to the future and all, it's about the market, and what is your exit strategy, all right? Find one of the markets that have the economics driving your exit strategy in a positive direction. Like I put there on the third one, who cares if you're buying 20% below value right now? That's great. You go to a market, you buy 20% below value, but you know what? You see where the jobs are going away, people are moving away. Okay, there's not going to be, quote, a 5 years from now there. What did you really get besides paper money? That's great. You bought it 20% below value, but it's not going to go up. Odds are it's going down. Look at the market. Look what's going on. So again, find the market. Some of you may live close to markets. I'm not saying you always have to go looking across country or something. I'm saying, but you have to focus in on the market, not just, quote, you got to step out of the comfort zone of doing something that's within, like your 20-minute ratio there. I tell people all the time, we talk about it because, again, 90+% of my business and that we do with our company is from clients across the country. 90+% of my clients are all from across the country investing here. And, we talk about it, and especially for people doing it for the first time, sometimes like, well, there's still that hurdle of, quote, not investing in my backyard where I'm at. And I say, when you really break it down, most people, when you look at it, they go out and they'll buy a house, but after that, they'll have someone else go do the work and repair it. Then they'll have a management company do the management on it. They really don't change their life at all. I mean, I've got stuff I own here in this market, of course. I haven't seen this stuff literally in 3 years. I live here. And what I'm getting at is it doesn't matter. If you're using a management company and all like that, I tell people, so you put that in perspective, and most people go, yeah, it makes sense. So again, it's about the market. Find the right market for you. This right here was something that came out from David Burson, an expert on the housing market for Fannie Mae. This came out in November. And if you follow things like that, you know how it is, especially someone like Fannie Mae or any, agencies like that. It's like pulling teeth to get them ever to say anything positive about the real estate industry. So that's one of the best things I love about this statement, that he actually went out on a limb and said, housing market is slowing everywhere. Yeah, we know that. Charlotte market should continue to do well. And it is. Greg and I were just talking about this. There was an article in the paper. And again, I remind you, when you're looking at articles too, kind of dig in and see why you think the details. And here's what I'm getting at. There's an article in the paper yesterday or 2 days ago that said, hey, the numbers for Charlotte, sales volume is going down. Are we going to finally, quote, hit the wall? We're hitting that trend. Well, I've looked into those numbers. See, the thing is, the numbers that actually went down, but the sale prices have gone up 7%. So you're kind of looking at it going, wait a minute, the sale prices are going up, but, quote, the number they say is going down. Well, the numbers going down is pretty much your entry-level home market, which has been affected, like many markets, by basically what I think really more or less is the correction in these crazy loan programs that have been out there for the last 3 or 4 years in the entry-level and subprime market. All right, so what happens is, last year, let's say there should have been 8,000, just for a round number, in a certain period of homes that should have been. Well, with these crazy loan programs, there were an extra 2,000, so there were 10,000. Well, what happened now? There's just not that crazy 2,000 anymore. So again, a lot of times you got to watch the doom and gloom and just read in there and do your own research and find out what's going on. Because here, like I said, we're doing great. I was just at a chamber meeting and talked with the lead guy named Tony Crumbly, who's one of the guys highly involved in the chamber, does some market research and all. And even he said he's been here doing it for 30 plus years. And he says, people in our market, especially here, have no idea still what's going on, which as out-of-state investors and all is a great thing. He said he and I were just talking, he said, we're on a 20-year growth cycle. He goes, we're not slowing down.
How do you come to that number 20? And I only ask this because there's another guru, I'll call him, whose basic approach is, he says cycles usually go 3 to 5 years, and so his strategy is invest at the beginning of the cycle and then just assume 5 years later it's going to dip. So 20 years is considerably longer than what...
Well, no, and his question was how to kind of, I'm quoting from like the chamber and other sources as to 20 years. And to be honest, that's what they've done their research on. And it's just been 20 years as far as growth, planned growth, because one of the nicest things we've had in Charlotte, and it's kind of the article that was in the, it first started out in the Wall Street Journal was the article. And that's kind of what stemmed the whole ABC News Nightline and everything like that as to what's going on, is that we've been slow and steady. And for a while there, we were just like this slow little market, whereas all these other little, darling markets are the ones that were just shooting up like crazy. Well, they've all fallen by the wayside. Those markets, are all, I'm not big at even buying into, quote, bubble. I mean, a lot of the markets have just, kind of plateaued out. There's some people that got stuck, but still they plateaued out. A lot of the West Coast, it's plateaued out and all like that. But yeah, a lot of them, it's just, be quite honest, I'm not an economist. I do a lot of my research, and it's just, quite honestly, it's the number they always point to. It's just 20 years is the growth. Like the U.S. Census is actually the one that even was with the chamber, and they quoted even U.S. Census data talking about, hey, how we're the only market approaching 300%, the way our population is growing and expected to grow over the next 20 years. Actually, I think it's about 18 to 20 years as far as the population growth. Yes, sir.
Mike, how far into this growth cycle is Charlotte right now?
Oh, no, listen, we're just,
How many years into it?
we're only about 2 years in.
2 years in. Mm-hmm. I would venture to say that the Chamber of Commerce is very positive. True. So take that
Yep.
into consideration, especially if it's backed up by government stats.
Well, and the other thing I'd say is that there may be ups and downs, but the overall trend is probably going to be where they're.
Yes, sir. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're going to have ups and downs. Because I tell people, even in our market, and a little bit, and I'll talk about it more tomorrow and all, but part of what I tell people my job and my company is, when you look at our market, yeah, there's going to be little pockets that don't do as well. Because I tell people to tell me their investment strategies. I'm going to take us primarily tomorrow when we do the bus ride and all to a lot of markets that are kind of your 3 to 6, 3 to 7 year growth strategy. Now, I've got other markets on the other side of the city, and again, because of time constraints, we can't go to them all, that are more your 10 to 15 year growth strategies. And so, it depends. I mean, I tell people, not trying to be corny, you could throw a dart at Charlotte at a map and invest where it hits. And what I think my company and my job is, and my company, again, not trying to go too far on a tangent, is I do my best to put you in the 3 to 6 year, 3 to 7 year growth. Because then it's just your exit strategy is just whenever you want to sell. It's nice having that option to once you hit 3 or 4 years, you've hit a peak where you're like, I could live off that exit strategy. You're like, that's nice because now I can sell 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. Does someone else have a question? Someone else? Hand? Now, again, kind of what we talked about, our economy, where it is. We're at the bottom right now of a growth cycle. We got 20 years population growth. I mean, it's something very, but like I said, more than reading into about Charlotte, because I don't want to just keep it on Charlotte, look at that again in your market where you're looking at. Make sure whatever market, again, if it's not Charlotte or something more local to you or somewhere else, find out what's going on there. What's the population going to do? What solid numbers are they putting up behind it that's coming from, quotable sources, not rumor mill? What's coming from your chamber? What's coming, from U.S. Census? What's coming from places like that are talking about the market you want to invest in, so you're doing the right thing. Now what I want to do is I want to transition over and start talking about, all right, either you're doing the research yourself or you're going to get someone, whether it be a real estate agent like myself that specializes in this, or even just assembling a team. All right, kind of what are you looking for? These are some of the things right here going down, whether it be market knowledge, and I'm going to break them all down here in a second. Market knowledge. Pretty much I just wrapped it all up in the first thing there, so I won't talk on it too long, but that's what you want the person you're dealing with to have. Market knowledge. One of the biggest things I get here, and when you saw earlier that I was fortunate enough that there's a gentleman named Bill Gallagher who's the #1 real estate trainer of realtors in North Carolina and most of South Carolina. He came to me and said, you know what, Mike, the Charlotte market and this entire area of North Carolina is growing. It's exploding. I'm having more and more realtors come to me and go, what do we do with these phone calls when these people call in? And a lot of people, call in from other parts of the country going, we want to buy investment property in your market. And, and there were two ways. A lot of people are like, well, why are you kind of, quote, you've got a niche, and why are you training other realtors to do your niche? I.e., why are you? I look at it two ways. I could have taken the path of saying, you know what, I don't want to teach someone, quote, my thing I do. Or B, I look at it like this. I'd rather have more people educated on the way to do it the right way. Because I'm going to tell you what happens right now with most people when they call in. People hear about Charlotte, for instance. Great growing city. They Google. One of course, our high-powered real estate companies around here that's got nothing but, literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend on web placement and stuff like that. They get them. They call them the agent on duty. Agent on duty, you call in, picks up the phone. Hi, I'm here. I'm across the country. I want to get at some investment real estate with you. Well, what happens? That agent only knows one thing to do. They go on our MLS. They go to a comment section, foreclosure, TLC, handyman. They pull up 15 properties. They send them out to you and go, hey, there's your great investments. Because that's all they know. They do not know anything about investments and what makes a true investment. And I'm telling you, the banks and all in our market have caught on to it. They know. I see more homes that are foreclosures that I've been in. I tell my people that deal with me, clients, I have not sold a home messed with MLS in almost a year now. I use MLS for comping out stuff as a tool, but as far as pulling stuff off there and all to sell, no, because it's not the right thing. 99% of the time, it's not the right thing to do to my clients. It's not. I mean, it's just they're overpriced. It's amazing. The banks know. I've seen homes that sold. I've checked them out, $130,000. Top-end home sale price in the neighborhood's $120,000. And, I know the home needed, I called the agent, it needed $15,000 in repairs. I feel for whoever bought it because I mean they got a firm grip on that house, you know. So again, it's important though. You want someone that knows your market. I'm not saying they have to be someone like me that grew up in the market, but I'm gonna tell you what, it helps me out, helps my clients out a lot. You know, I grew up here between knowing in the circles I travel. I know the gentleman and call him and have breakfast in the morning with a gentleman that's doing a $400 million uptown skyscraper whole entertainment complex building right now. I find out from him what is going on. You know, I find out from key developers. I find out from the president of the Charlotte Commercial Board of Realtors. I go out to lunch with him at least once a month. What's going on in the commercial world? I want to know where are things going, where are they happening. You know, I just think you need someone like that that is in the mix of what's going on, you know, to find out, because it's not, quote, normal real estate. It is not at all in the investment side. So again, you need someone with a market knowledge that has the connections that can bring that to you, because you got to stay ahead of the market. To me, that's what it's all about. Tomorrow when we go out, that's part of what we're going to do in the bus seminar tour. I'm going to take you to different levels of, quote, where I started out with clients and then as we've progressed. And I'm going to show you these different markets, and you're going to look at them, and the point of part of it is you're going to see, wait, that neighborhood looks like that neighborhood and looks like this neighborhood. What's the difference? 600,000, 200,000, 100,000. That's your difference. Proximity around Charlotte, same. Style homes, same. Style of neighborhoods, same. Style of streets, same. You know, so it's about knowing where to go and knowing where it's all going. Yes, sir.
So what would be if you're interviewing a potential agent to help you to join your team, what would be the 4 to 5 key questions you would ask to
Yeah.
that they know?
Key questions you're asking to your agent. Now, a lot of these, like I said, I'm going to go through a whole lot. But as far as market, no, that's all right. But as far as market, I mean, ask them, what do you know, where would you say to invest? I mean, you know, if they do, I mean, they've got to know. They've got to know. I mean, I can rattle to you. You tell me what, you know, your price amount is, you know, what you want your exit strategies to be and stuff like that. What's more important, you know, high cash flow or more immediate return? You know, stuff like that. I can tell you the right markets to go to because I know the markets and where they're going. So you got to find that out from somebody. You know, again, it's, you know, they have to know the market for you. I mean, I think that's very important. They have to be an active investor themselves. They have to speak your language. They have to be in the trenches with you, and they have to be going through the same thing you're going through. If they're not an active investor and they haven't done it, I mean, it's just, you know, I'm out. You can't do it that way. You can't just keep pointing and telling somebody what to do when you haven't done it yourself and you don't know how to do it. I'm telling you, because I've been through so many transactions myself and with clients, you know, I can tell you, hey, how do we overcome different things? You know, mortgage things are going crazy. It's changing. You know what? I've already been through it 3, 4, 5 times. You know what? You deal with it and you find another way to put the deal together. I mean, you can freak out right now about, you know, subprime and all this stuff tightening up and all, or you just find different ways to put deals together. And that's what you do. You know, me, I think what it's going to do, I think it's good things. A lot of people, you know, like, what? I think it's good things coming on right now with a lot of changes. What are you going to do? You're going to weed out a bunch of the people that just jumped on the mortgage broker bandwagon. You're going to weed them out. They're going to get new jobs now. Fine. I want the people that are seasoned. I want the people that have the built-up relationships. Because I'm telling you, also in that business, like any other business, it's a lot about their relationships. I mean, I venture to say there's several people in this room, whether it be a primary residence or another one, that have maybe went down one road trying to buy a house. Someone over here was like, we can't do it like that. You made one phone call, went over here, and this person had it done like it was no big deal. Why? I guarantee you, because this person had a relationship. You know, I've had it before. I went after one loan one time. The same people both were going to Chase, and this person was saying, you know, just the way you want to structure that and all like that, we're just not going to be able to get done. I made a phone call. This guy had it done. I closed 2 weeks with Chase. Chase didn't change. I mean, I'm serious. Chase didn't change. It was the person, the relationship. So again, I think it's good things that are coming down the line. They're going to tighten up. You just find different ways to put your deals together. You know, it's going to force people, I think, to do things the right way. Look, yeah, I'm a big fan of stuff that's zeroed down and all like that. I like not freeing up a bunch of my, you know, money and all. But I think it's probably going to tighten up where, you know, I'm telling clients right now, we're venturing more to about a 10% down. You know, and I think it's good for the market. You know, I think you get a lot of people sometimes that get involved with a bunch of the zero down and all like that, get in over their head. They're not ready for, you know, the adjustments and all. Again, I think it's good things. You know, when I first started out in the business, it was great. I remember I'd go through loans to where I bought some of my first homes and walked away with 12 grand at closing. How? Because the banks would literally do what they call an ARV, after repaired value appraisal on the purchase. You know, my first deal ever, literally. I think I bought the house like $52,000, and it had an after repaired value of, I think, like $80,000 or $85,000. They said, fine. They loaned 80% off of that and said, go, have a nice day. Then I think, obviously, what happened? Well, you had some people, first time they get about a $14,000 check in their hand, they're off in Tahiti. They're having a good time. All of a sudden, they forgot about all the repairs they promised the bank they were going to do. That thing cycled back through foreclosure, and the banks, you know, again, the lending community said, you know what? It's just not right. But getting back to, again, I think active investor. Ask your person if they're an active investor. And I'm not saying it's got to be something where they're buying 1 billion properties or anything like that. It's just something you want them on the same page with you. You want them to have gone through what you're going through. So when you call them up and say, hey, I just heard about this or that they don't give you that, you know, blank look. Kind of like, you know, when your dog comes up to you and kind of, you know, looks at you like that. You know, you don't want that when you know you've got 30 grand made on this deal and this person just going, bummer, you know, not sure what to tell you there, buddy. You know, you want someone that's been through it. No problem. You know, here's how we got to do this, you know. Relationships with lenders. Again, you want someone that's going to bring that to the table, or if you're building up your team, that's what you want to build. Start building up relationship with lenders. We're going to have a gentleman again coming in a little while, Chuck Horn. He's with a local company here in town. One person that I deal with on loans, okay? You want the relationships with lenders. Why? Well, one thing we talked about, I was talking about a little bit ago. Number one, you want to get someone that knows investment loans, all right? There's a lot of people that, some people I'm sure in here maybe in mortgages, some people, others I'm sure, if you've ever seen the daily rate sheets and all and program sheets that come out with mortgages, some of those companies, I'm telling you, it's like trying to solve the Rubik's Cube. I mean, it comes out, and they got formulas for everything. They got points flying, basis points flying left and right as far as bumps, adds, takes, everything. Thing is, you want someone that actually does them. Because everyone can look you in the face, most of these mortgage companies, and say, yes, we offer mortgage loans for investments. That's great. Have you done them? Because I'm telling you, when I first started out, you know, I was one of those people, had a seasoned job, great, you know, time on the job, good income, 780 plus credit score and all that. And I'm telling you, there were still hiccups when I was doing full doc. I mean, I was doing full doc when, again, the banks just wanted to throw money out there at people regardless of full. I had everything go on, quote, in my favor, and still there would be hiccups with investments. Investments, again, they're just a different ballgame. Make sure you're dealing with a lender that does investment loans. Now, again, I'm not saying they're going to do all investment loans. Chuck does not do only investment loans or anything like that. So I'm saying you don't have to make it that small of a pigeonhole or anything, okay? However, make sure you got someone that is up to date on it that does investment loans. Even better, Chuck owns a couple, is someone that, you know, also buys investment properties themselves. Again, they're going to know the nuances on how to make it happen for you and how to set it up and make sure deals go down. Because again, you know, you want someone in there going to know about timing for you. You know, like Lyndon Judson we were talking about earlier, a lot of the deals you put together, you know, there's timing factors in there. A lot of people like it when you can close quicker. You know, that's just the way it is. You know, a lot of times you will get favors when you can close quicker. You know, people may have, you know, you may have someone you're buying something from that's got a hard money loan on it, okay? They're paying a lot of points and fees. Once it rolls over that 1 month, you know what, it may be a $1,500 difference to them. They'll be willing to kick that back or split it with you as a discount on the house if you'll close before it's due for them on that next payment, all right? So things to keep in mind. Relationships with contractors. Again, you want someone in my position to bring that to you, or you want to form those relationships yourself. Very important. You know, great, fine, and dandy to find a great deal on a house. You know, you've got your market down pat. You're in the right market. You got a great deal buying a house under value, and you spend retail prices and do too much with, quote, a normal rehab contractor on a house. You just blew the deal you made. You just destroyed it right there in that phase of the game. Again, you want to have the relationships with contractors. One thing I've got is because of the volume of business I do, I have several contractors that I deal with. The nice thing is they know that I keep them busy. And I don't know if anyone in here by chance is in the contractor trade or anything like that. Any contractors by chance? Anyone? Well, none in here, but I'll tell you this. What contractors want to know, where is their next job coming from? Where is the next job? Why do they want to know that? It's not really them, it's the people working for them. Okay? Most of the people that got working for them, they live week to week, paycheck to paycheck. If they even sniff or smell that there is not a job after this one, they are gone. They are on to the next contractor framing the next house for the next guy or painting the next house. I promise you that. So what do contractors want to know? They will give a discount if they know you've got, and I keep mine buzzing. I've got mine right now backed up 3 jobs all the time. They know. I say, look, as long as you can work, go. You guys want to go have fun 24 hours a day? Go. I'll keep the work coming. And what do we get in return? Well, we get typically 60 to 70% of what people would, quote, normally pay. Why? Because it's more important to them. You know, the one thing they figured out, you know what? Hey, they get to keep all their guys and keep a business going by just doing singles and doubles all the way across instead of home run, lose guys, have to recruit new guys because I had to tell them we got a week off of work because there's no work. It just, you know, their workers aren't salaried, so when they're not working, they're not getting paid. They know that. All right. So again, establish those relationships with the contractor. Yes, ma'am.
I have a quick question. When
Yeah.
you say that you're getting a discount, I guess, how do you, are you doing it by job? Are you doing it by hour? How are you?
Well, the discount is what I mean is if you just went out, typically like someone out of the paper, you know, you got like 3 quotes from people, because most people come into your house, you know, that quote do normal remodels or something, their price is going to be up here. You know, they're going to charge you a whole lot, and they're going to, because they're used to doing more. You know, and so I've had to quote break in, if you will, sometimes contractors and say, look, you know, when we do painting, we're not talking about Taj Mahal here. I said, you know, I call it blow and go. They go in, they tape off windows and all, and they stand and you see a guy walk in like he's in one of those scenes out of a movie, and you'll have the one kid that's got the mask on and it's just a blur of paint, you know. But they do it, and that's what you want in your rental property. You don't need, you know, somebody over there like a craftsman, you know. You don't need it. You know, you don't, because, you know, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Thing to remember, you're not living there. You're not living there, all right? No one's ever turned down one of my investment properties because it didn't have cute crown molding, okay? You're not living there. And we're going to show you that tomorrow. I guarantee it'll blow some of your minds as what rent-ready really is and what you think it is. It'll blow your mind. Tenants want safe, affordable housing. They want a roof over that keeps the rain out and a door that works and some flooring. That's it.
Are you talking about this regional area or general?
Regional area, and pretty much, I mean, yeah, if you're talking about super high-end homes, it's different. But I mean, as far as, you know, I could talk to you later about super high-end homes because I think that's if you're going to try and rent out super high-end homes, you better make sure you're in a wonderful market because you're getting ready to really take a big fall. When you're talking about, you know, super high-end home renters, maybe 1% of your capture market. So it's nice if you make $500 a month, but if you got an interest-only note and you're paying off $5,000 a month and it takes you, you know, 6 months to rent it, that's $30,000 you dumped into making $500 a month. You know, if that tenant's not going to camp out for a couple decades, then you know, I mean, you know, it's just a tough market, you know, to go that way.
Now, what about lease to own? Is that similar to the rent ready, or?
As far as what the condition?
Yeah, is it the similar condition?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it's gonna. I guess I should preface it saying, yeah, the market I deal in, it is going to be different in different areas. But a lease to own, yeah, I mean, a lot of times you do a lease to own, and Judson actually can speak better to that later on, probably tomorrow, than I can and all. But on a lease to own, a lot of times, yeah, it depends on the neighborhood you're going into. I don't do a lot of it because, again, a lot of what we're gearing towards is tenants is what I'm focused on because you're my client, you're buying, and you just want a tenant because what you're wanting to do is have a tenant pay your mortgage, let Charlotte do what Charlotte has been doing, is going to continue to keep doing, let your value go up, and then sell it. You know what I mean? So it's really for you, you don't, I mean, most the clients I deal with don't care about, hey, can I get something and maybe have to sell? They don't want to sell. I mean, because you're an incredible market. You don't want to sell. You want to ride up the value as far as you can. You know.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
Real quick, what's the average time that you would, you know, buy the piece of property, have it rented, let Charlotte move you up, and then what's your experience the investors, how much time do they hold their property before they?
How much time in my market do people, my clients are still, quote, holding, okay? And like I was saying earlier, kind of a 3 to 7 year hold pattern is what we're talking about. I mean, you can't predict everything. Like I said, I like to think with the resources I have and knowing things, I've got a good grip. I miss things as far as how quick they turn sometimes. Some people that are in here are from, there's an area called Wilmore in town. Wilmore exploded in like 15 months. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, Wilmore went from 60,000 to, stuff going for 200, 300 plus in no time. I mean, it happened so quick. I'm telling you, there's still today people on the corners, distributing narcotics, your pharmaceutical representatives still on the corners, and homes are $600,000 on the street. It happened so quick, like they didn't know how to get out quick enough. I mean, it happened too quick for them. So, it can happen fast.
Right. Is there a shortage of rental property in Charlotte? As people were not being able, as they're foreclosing, getting out of homes, they're going to go into rental. So the question is, what's being built new in relation to this whole growth in Charlotte?
That's a good question. His question is, all right, we've got people that are being foreclosed on, which, we got a good deal of foreclosures, nice amount here in Charlotte, which actually, again, it's unfortunate, but that's one of the biggest things I think is playing in our investors' favor. It's because you had people that were renters for the last 5 years. They got by on, quite honestly, silly programs. And some of those, it wasn't fully disclosed to them, a lot of different reasons. And now they're back to being renters. And so, we do have in some areas a shortage of rental properties. You're right. Because where is a lot of our building focus targeted? More higher end stuff here in our market. So what they need is more investment properties. And as these properties come on the market, that's what's being bought by investors and rented out.
Let me just tell you, in Miami, what's happening, they overbuilt on condos. We've got condos all over the place. It slows down everybody else, right? Because you got to move it. Supply and demand. I guess in Charlotte, are they anticipating this growth by building more converting maybe a pre-existing rental to one condo, then going back to rental? In other words, what's the supply base for rental supplies in Charlotte based on the anticipated growth of rental?
The supply based on growth, well, I can tell you this, let me back up. One thing you said, what are they doing? I can tell you what they are trying to do is get in touch with people like us that are investors. I think more than ever, the olive branch has been extended. I was at a seminar giving, it was ironic for the realtor thing, and a gentleman came up to me. His name is A.C. Scholl. He's a senior lead economic development manager for the city of Charlotte, and said, I need to talk with you because I want you and your investors on the city of Charlotte's team. He goes, because we need investment properties. And the thing is, they want to get with people too that aren't making slumlords houses. I mean, they want people doing it right, helping build up neighborhoods. As far as what's happening, it's, you got a lot of, we're doing a lot of shifting, if you will. We're going to go to a market tomorrow, which is pretty much kind of the western corridor, okay? It's an exploding area. What's happening is things are still rental market. However, I'm going to show you all the triggers where things are going up well. A lot of the tenants are now moving out to another side of Charlotte. They're going over more to the eastern side, all right? Over there, you're going to get, good rental, good cash flow. But I tell people, we buy over here, you're on a 10-plus year holding pattern. Why? Because you got a lot of tenants going over there. All right, it's fine to buy. I have a lot of people that balance out, their investment portfolios. Why? Over here, we're going to get more cash flow. Got a lot of tenants kind of fighting over properties and all. You get more cash flow. However, what have you got? Like I said, I tell people, do not talk to me for 10 years about selling that house, which is fine. I mean, a lot of people are like, this is my retirement. I want to put my money in there, and that's fine. Over here, we're doing stuff where I tell you, it's not going to be your typical. Some markets we're going to go to where I'm going to show you $40 a month cash flow. A lot of people are like, well, whoop-de-doo. Well, it's a $70,000 house where I can show you the way it's trending. 3 years, you probably be able to sell the thing for $140, $150. All of a sudden, $40 a month becomes inconsequential to what you can do, the way things are trending 3, 4, maybe 5 years. You know what I mean? So it's a different ball game, and that's why a lot of people almost hedging bets. They say, you know what? I still want to, don't want to feel low, so I'm gonna get 40 here, 200 here. I got 240 in between. I like that. I'm in an incredible market. That's fine.
You don't think all that building by builders in Charlotte for rental, more rental units will stop that rental, pricing continue to go up, do you?
I don't think so because it's no, I don't think so because we don't have a lot. We got some, but not as much geared towards the investment. It's more on the outskirts. But yes, sir.
I just wanted to reiterate
Yeah.
that because I just recently relocated to Florida. We were looking at the rental market because we didn't want to buy right away. We had to get our kids into school. Long story, but we looked at the rental market and houses were disappearing as we were going to see them. My wife literally went out to see one, couldn't find it, called the guy and said, "How do I get there? I'm lost." He's like, "Don't bother, just rent it." Really, it was nothing on the market at the time, in the price range we were looking at. So we're happy to be here.
And that's another good point, because a rental as a small condo versus a single-family home. If you have more renters on the market, you're not gonna have as many buyers. The credit is now, less than what it used to be. And I've heard that even, people that have $700 or 700 FICO scores can't even get approved for homes that are over 600,000. Where they were before. So it's affecting everybody that's trying to get credit. So where you have a rental, where you have a house, if there's an opportunity to rent a house, I think a renter would probably want to rent a house versus a small two-bedroom condo. So that's why I asked the question of how that is going to affect the growth situation.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we're just still in great shape because we haven't, they didn't focus on a lot of that. A lot of our stuff, again, has been people getting stuck with almost higher end stuff and all like that. I want to go through this again, the relationship with property management. Gwen's going to come in earlier, okay? Make sure you establish that relationship with your property manager. She's going to give you tips, tricks, and stuff like that. Here's advice I would have too is, again, in your market, when you're dealing with property managers, find out one thing I've just found kind of over the time, find out where your properties are and find out where kind of a base location, if you will, for that property manager is. I found out something almost the hard way was, I had one company I was dealing with, and I'd put houses to them, they'd rent them out quick, and they were kind of more over here. Well, then I had list homes over here that are kind of the same home, same shape and all, and it would take a while, and I'm like, what is going on? Well, then I called up a company that was more located over there, and those homes started going. It kind of finally got to the root of it. You know what? It goes back to, again, keep it simple. People are human. If you got about a 45-minute drive from here to here, Friday at 4:30, they get a phone call, "Hey, come over and let me in this house," and all like that. You know what? Hey, drive by and see what you think, if you like. They're human. All right, so that's just the point. That's just kind of my 2 cents, if you will, on that, is when you're dealing with people, just, make sure, find out kind of where they're located, where's their biggest geographic range where they do business, use them there, and then use someone else maybe over in these pockets. Because I'm telling you, again, it's human. People are human. Keep the human factor in it. Referrals, again, and I want to go through some of these because, like I said, I know we're kind of wrapping. I don't want to cut it everyone's lunchtime. Referrals, basically it's simple. Ask for referrals. Find out, again, if they got a few people, and this is for people that are interviewing, maybe an agent like myself or something in your market or the market you're looking at, ask them to maybe give you a few people that they've done business with, just like you would in anything else. I would always say you want to make sure they've got easy access to investment listings. And again, talking about if you're dealing with, an investment agent, okay? Easy access, ours, we just put them on the internet, so that way 24/7, they're always out there for people to look at and gather information from. Again, you want to make sure that's something that someone's bringing to the table to you, so they always have that stuff in front of you. Again, primary focus is investments. I hinted at this earlier, and I'm going to tell you right now, not trying to be mean and step on toes for people that are, quote, my kind, realtors in my industry. I don't buy it. I don't believe anyone can efficiently be an investment realtor and a, quote, normal realtor. I don't buy it at all. You can't. Period. Don't let someone talk you into it. Don't let someone say, you know what? Oh, yeah, I handle all kinds of primary stuff. And, oh, yeah, if you want me to do investments, I do that. Because they don't, you've seen what all you have to know. They don't do all this other stuff, behind the scenes as far as being out there, what I like to say, boots on the ground in neighborhoods. You've got to be out there talking to contractors, talking to what's going on, talking to wholesalers and all like that. If you don't have all that and bring it to the table, I'm telling you, they're not bringing the right deals to you.
It seems like it's impossible to find a person like you in Austin, Texas.
I second that.
Every agent I ever talk to, they're all residential, but they'll say, oh yeah, I can help you find them. So,
No,
is
no.
there an association for
It's CarolinaInvestmentProperty.com. But no, it's a good question. And here's my advice on that. Number one, I like RIAs, Real Estate Investment Associations. I think a lot of times you can find, hopefully, now I'm telling you, weed through them. Because I go to them, but I'm going to tell you, it's like anything else. Yeah, you're going to have the bad apples in there. All right, so weed through. All right, make sure they're not just blowing smoke. Again, check credentials, check what they've done. Ask them to show you investments they've done. They've put people on. Do that. All right. Then beyond that, kind of my idea too is what I tell people, and if that's hard, because I know there are some areas of the country where they don't have an investment association close or whatever. If you want to do something in your market or whatever, find out usually who a listing agent is of maybe a lot of foreclosed stuff, a lot of bank-owned stuff. Because most realtors you're going to find, especially, they're going to do one side, listing or a buyer's agent. Find the listing agent who, on a consistent basis, brings you clients that are investors, that buys these properties that you think is just knockdown class act, that knows what's going on. Not the person that, stumbled upon a few people that want to be investors in one or two times. Who on a monthly basis, who do you know on a first, they'll know. They're going to tell you, bam, like that, they're going to tell you like their top three people, Fred, Sue, Joe, call me all the time. They do a great job. There was so-and-so, call them. And so that's kind of my number two, I would say, is number one, try your RIAs, see who's there and all like that. Generally, you're not going to have your residential, quote, realtors there. Because I'm going to tell you, and I'm not trying to say it like a pat on the back, a lot of this stuff that, we do, and Todd that works with me at Test, it's like hitting yourself in the head with a hammer a lot. It's not an easy thing when you're dealing with all the stuff that goes on with investments. So it's something that you have to be 100% into. And so I'm telling you, I get more realtor referrals now because they try it once, and that's all they need. And then they say, how much will you give me on a referral? Because I'm going to send these people to you because I don't want nothing to do with investments. I get it all the time, because normal realtors are like, forget it. They don't want to do it because they know they're not bringing the right things to the table, and they don't know how to get the right information to you. You're asking them questions from an investment perspective. They're used to going in a house and going, cool colors, cool kitchen, marble. It's, and it's not about that. It's not about, we were talking about it earlier. Investors, it's not about, when you go look at a house like tomorrow, it's not about when you're looking for an investment, how big's the kitchen? How big is it? It's not about that. I tell people, number one, you don't fall in love with the bricks. Don't ever do that, all right? Number two, it's always about the deal, all right? It's about your position in the deal. I'll tell you, don't count other people's money. Judson talked about it earlier. Wholesalers sometimes they'll make a lot on a deal, a little on a deal. Doesn't matter. It's about your position in the deal. I'm happy for wholesalers I deal with when they make $20,000 on a deal or something. Good for you. Rock, But there'll be the same guys coming. The next deal is only $4,000 for them, $3,000 for them. You know what? It's none of my concern. It's about what is the right position in the deal to make sure it's the right deal for everyone involved. This just talks about what should someone bring to the table for you. Again, information you need to make your investment decisions. Research the neighborhoods and the surrounding markets for you. Give you an estimated repair list up front. That's something we'll talk about later, but that's one thing that myself and Todd, that's with me in my company, Todd Frankman in the back, he'll be here this whole weekend, also on the bus tour tomorrow that you can talk with, and he'll tell you that's what we do for our clients. We do our best. It's estimates. I tell people it's always estimates. No, I don't climb on roofs and I don't go under houses. Sorry, so I can't tell you what's going on there, but we do a good job. I've got a background in residential real estate construction, framing houses back in college, and also was a project manager in a commercial construction company for a couple years earlier on in my life. And so usually got a pretty good eyeball for what's going on with stuff. And so, it helps you when you kind of get an idea of what it's going to take to get it rent ready. And also, you want that knowledge of the rental market so you can crunch. Man, I just said something that set a lot of people off. I got hands everywhere. Yes?
Is there any business that will
His question was, is there any business or anything that provides a 5-year out plan on neighborhoods or regions? The best thing I would say to do is go to the chamber. I'm going to tell you, the best advice also I can give, go to your chamber. Go downtown. They want you there. It's one of those things, it's like we grow up with this stigma that we're like, quote, bothering someone in there. I'm telling you, all these markets now that are fighting, they want you coming in there, getting interested in what's going on, where the growth of the city's going. All right? Whenever you go, and we're going to go tomorrow, and you're going to see what I call infrastructure triggers. You probably never saw about with the new street sidewalks and all like that. They didn't roll the dice and plan that 2 months ago. All right? The new sidewalks that went in and all, everyone knows how quick cities work. All right? That was in planning a long time ago. They've got all that downtown. They know what's coming in 5 years. They know where they want to go. I mean, I know guys that are land guys, they call them land developers and all. One of their biggest things is they go find out where the city's going to put like the next high schools that are 10 years out. That's where they start gobbling up pieces of land to sell off to developers. All right? It's there. It's public information. Your taxes pay for it. They can't hide it from you. They want you to see it. They got to show it to you. So I'm telling you, go downtown. Let me do this. Let me keep going because I know I'm cutting. We kind of got backed up and we got way into lunch and all. And so what I'm going to do, I want to talk about just a couple more things. And then that way we'll move forward and go to a lunch today. All right? And then we'll come back. And I'll be here. I'm going to hang around, of course, for y'all to ask questions for and all like that. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to hold it up here so we can get out to lunch because, like I said, my whole presentation is in there. Actually, just really what it goes on from my presentation, you'll see from here, it gives you stuff you can see for yourself, return on investment examples and all like that. A lot of you have seen that. For some of you new, that's one of the best things about real estate is the phenomenal return on investments. As you flip through, you'll see I've got an example in there. It is a very basic and easy example to show how you can get a 72% return on investment in 1 year on a rental property. Look at the numbers. They're not fluffed. It's very real numbers. It's numbers using $100 a month cash flow, 5% appreciation rate. We had double that last year. Okay? So nothing's been fluffed in there to make it look better than it is. And it's a 72% return on investment. All right? Not a lot of places, a lot of spots in the market. Okay? Also, if you would look on the table, Todd had passed out earlier an information just about anyone wanting to know about what we do here in the market. If you want to fill that out, leave it in front of your desk right there or hand it to Todd in the back. That's fine. Be glad to get in touch with you all. Again, tomorrow, I'm going to be on the bus. I'm there for questions. That's what I want to do. I mean, I've ran over. I run my mouth. I get it. That's, what I love to do. But seriously, I love doing this. I love the investment side. So please, bring the questions. If I don't know it, I'm going to put you in touch with somebody or get the answer, call you, email it to you. Because I'm not going to tell you I know the answer to everything, but that's what I love about this business. Constantly changes, and there's a lot of different levels for a lot of different people at different stages of involvement. Yes?
Good job.
Mr. Anti-People? Come on up.
Not going to live that down, am I?
No, you're not.
Hand for Mike.
Thank you.
You had to talk fast because we ran way too long.
Give me another
thank
mocha
you.
frappuccino. I can really speed up the
There you
hour.
go. I guess we're going to do lunch now. We're ready for lunch? For folks that want to go to lunch with somebody that you're interested in a certain topic or something like that, let's just do it this way. Lease options. Everybody raise your hand right now that wants to go talk about lease options at lunch. Okay. You can all see and sort of move together. There you go. Yeah, we can move across the rooms. Yeah, if you want to do that and just sort of get in a clump somewhere as we do this. Rehabs. We're talking about building, not drug problems. Okay. If you guys want to cut in the back corner there or something like that, y'all can get up now. It's okay. What else do we got? Landlording. Commercial. Building what? Network teams, is that what you said? Networking teams, stuff like that? Len says apartments and small offices, commercial, that kind of thing. We aren't doing a very organized job of this, are we?
Nah. Chaos. It's kind of how I live my day each day, though, so it's...
Yeah, that's true.
I do it.
It's a regular day of work.
Yeah.
And anybody else who just wants to walk around and find somebody that they want to go to lunch with, just go.
Well, I think...
We need to be back here at 1 o'clock,
well,
correct? Or where are we at?
Yeah, real quick. It's 11:45, and I'm not sure if everyone knows also places to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to point that out real quick. Here's what you got. You've got, of course, the restaurant in here. Then there's a Hilton next door. It's a 2-minute walk. They also have like a restaurant.
Italian over there.
Yeah, Italian place over there to eat. For those of you that want to maybe, again, it's about a 4-minute walk. You may have saw it on your way in, right up to the front. There's a Chili's restaurant up there, and there's also a Sonny's Barbecue up there. There's just right around the corner, about a 4 or 5 minute walk. Again, it's quarter till. I'd still say we'll budge everything. Do 1:15.
We can do
just so everyone doesn't feel rushed. Hour and a half. 1:15 is when we're going to crank everything back up, so people again don't feel rushed.